So what is up, amigos? Hope you're doing awesome. With the recent election of a new pope making global headlines, Conclave lands on Amazon Prime at the perfect moment. But rather than just riding the news wave, this film dares to question the institution behind the ceremony, the politics of faith, the power games within the church, and the uneasy silence that often surrounds both. Let's be clear, Conclave is not a faith-based drama in the traditional sense. It's not interested in religious doctrine or divine miracles. What Conclave really explores is the system behind the faith, the bureaucracy, the politics, the personal guilt with the moral compromises that go into shaping one of the most influential decisions in the world, electing a new pope. Now, it isn't a thriller in the traditional sense. There are no chase scenes or dramatic showdowns. Instead, it's a slow, deliberate examination of how spiritual authority and human ego often sit side by side. It's a film where almost nothing is said out loud, yet everything important is communicated through silences, glances, and unease. It's quiet, yes, but it's not afraid to be controversial. And by the time you reach its finale scene, one thing will be certain: you won't walk away without an opinion. And that, in today's world, feels more relevant and uncomfortable than ever. So the film begins with the sudden death of the sitting pope, an event that triggers the centuries-old process of conclave, where cardinals from across the globe gather inside the locked confines of the Sistine Chapel to vote for the next leader of the Catholic Church. Cardinal Thomas Lawrence, played by Ralph Fiennes, is the Camerlengo, a high-ranking official tasked with managing the entire election. On paper, his role is procedural: oversee the voting, ensure tradition is followed, and maintain order. But nothing about this conclave is straightforward. As the cardinals begin casting their ballots, personal agendas surface, ideological battles simmer beneath polite conversations, power struggles play out with whispers rather than words. Lawrence, who approaches his role with a sense of quiet duty, soon discovers that this conclave is unlike any that came before it. Not just because of the rivalries, but because of a hidden truth buried deep within the Vatican's past and within his own. The story slowly peels back layers of tradition, secrecy, guilt, until a final reveal that feels less like a twist and more like a mirror held up to the entire institution. What begins as an orderly ritual turns into a personal reckoning for one man and a challenge to the conscience of an entire system. Ralph Fiennes commands the film with quiet authority. His portrayal of Cardinal Lawrence is layered and restrained, not theatrical, not flamboyant, but deeply human. He plays a man carrying internal conflict with elegance, never resorting to emotional outbursts, yet clearly weighed down by his own burden. The supporting cast includes Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Sergio Castellitto, and Isabella Rossellini, each embodying different factions and philosophies within the church. Whether traditionalist, reformist, pragmatic, or devout, these characters bring tension and texture to every scene. Together, they form a believable ecosystem of power and faith under pressure. Edward Berger, fresh from All Quiet on the Western Front, brings the same meditative style to Conclave as well. It's quiet, it's patient, and it doesn't hold your hand. That's commendable but also risky. Not every viewer will have the patience for the kind of slow burn storytelling. The screenplay, adapted from Robert Harris's novel, has moments of brilliance, but at times it plays it a little too safe. For a film that hints at scandals and deep institutional rot, it stops short of delivering a truly bold commentary. You get the feeling it's pulling back just when it could go a little more further, and that might frustrate those looking for a more fearless take on church politics. Visually, Conclave is restrained but elegant. The Vatican is shown with such reverence, but also with an underlying sense of isolation. The large halls and candlelit corridors feel grand yet cold. The cinematography keeps things still and composed. No shaky cameras, no dramatic pans. This makes you focus on the faces, the silences, and the loaded pauses. It's a very grown-up visual style, almost too clean at times, but it serves the film's mood really well. The score is subtle and atmospheric, doing just enough to carry the tension without overpowering the scenes. But again, much like the story, it feels slightly too cautious. A film like this could have taken more risks with sound, more dissonance, more discomfort to reflect the internal chaos beneath the surface. But that's not the case. Now, being really honest, this film is slow and not in a deeply immersive way for everyone. If you're coming in expecting constant revelations or emotional highs, this is a more internalized experience. The second half does bring more intrigue and the final few revelations are strong, but the path there might test some viewers. It rewards patience but doesn't invite everyone in equally. And just when you think the film is wrapping up quietly, the final scene throws in a revelation, one that's bound to stir debate. It's subtle yet provocative. You'll either find it bold or controversial, but you won't forget it, and that's reason enough to watch it till the end. The commentary on the theme of the film is one aspect where Conclave could have been explosive, but chooses subtlety. It touches on the ideas of guilt, power, hypocrisy, and hidden pasts. It brings up valid questions. How much of organized religion is spiritual and how much is political theater? What does it mean to confess, forgive, and move forward, especially when the stakes involve global faith? These are not easy questions, and Conclave doesn't offer neat answers. Instead, it presents a space for reflection, for the audience to consider the human side of religious institutions, the internal battles people face when they carry both personal secrets and public responsibilities. Given the recent real-world papal transition, the film feels timely. While it doesn't mimic actual events, it reminds us of the complexity and humanity behind these rituals we often see only from a distance. Conclave is a well-crafted, well-acted drama that feels timely and thoughtful. It offers a rare look inside a system that most people only view from outside, and for that alone, it's worth watching. But it also feels like a film stuck between two ambitions, wanting to provoke but not too much, wanting to challenge but politely. It's intelligent, elegant, and incredibly restrained. Maybe too restrained for its own good. If you're interested in films that take their time, build mood over momentum, and explore faith through a critical but respectful lens, this film will work for you. But if you're hoping for a sharper critique of power structures within the church, Conclave might leave you wanting more. So here's a real question for you. When faith meets politics, who truly holds the power? And when tradition is wrapped in silence, what gets buried and what's protected? The final scene in Conclave, no spoilers here, might seem understated at first, but sit with it for a moment and you'll realize how provocative for some it really is. Some might call it brilliant, others might find it deeply unsettling, but it's impossible to ignore. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you take away from Conclave? Did it challenge your beliefs, your expectations, or maybe even your patience? Thank you for watching us today, and please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support us for more such honest and genuine commentaries on cinema. Take care, stay awesome, and bye-bye.